Hundreds and hundreds of local council employees are working around the world on the beach. Forget working from home. This is working from the beach, WFTB. People are working for local councils here in places like Spain, Australia, Dubai, Brazil, India, Italy, France, Thailand, the Philippines, Jamaica, Croatia, South Africa, Turkey, Egypt, Gran Canaria and Indonesia. Nice work if you can get it. How on earth can you, for example, be dealing with potholes in Canterbury if you're lying on the beach in Phuket in Thailand?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, I think listeners and viewers right now will be well familiar with this concept of council staff working from home. I mean, throughout the pandemic and afterwards, we saw council buildings with 5% occupancy rates, you know, absolutely staggering numbers. All the while, of course, council taxpayers are still paying for these very expensive office spaces. But apparently that isn't even good enough now. What we've seen is a tenfold increase since the start of the pandemic in people getting permission from their council to work abroad. And I think that is obviously going to feed through into things, as you say, like core services, like potholes being filled and those sorts of things. And I think it's a complete disgrace for local council taxpayers who are seeing that council tax burden increase every single year. It's just completely unsustainable. And I think these town halls have to demand that the staff get back to the office.
Yeah, they do, in terms of people like us, you and me, and people around the country who pay their council tax and expect value for money. It's like Hamza Useless up in Scotland has today announced that local council workers in Scotland will now all work a 4-day week. Well, they tried that in Cambridgeshire here and decided it wasn't fair to the local residents, so they had to go back to 5 days. We deserve, for our money, a decent working week on the part of town hall employees, don't we? And we're not going to get that if they're on the beach in Thailand, and B, we're not going to get it if they're only working 4 days. That's where these town halls are remiss. They're not thinking about the people who pay for them, who pay for these people who are on the beach in Australia or wherever. It's not good enough. It should be banned, shouldn't it?
That's absolutely right, Kevin. It's something that we at the Taxpayers Alliance are campaigning very hard against at the moment, is this concept of a 4-day working week in the public sector, because it is something that's creeping in. And, you know, we saw these practices starting to become prevalent during the pandemic and afterwards, where people wanted to work from home or wanted to work flexible hours. And, you know, what I'd say is, let's try those things out in the private sector, by all means. Let's let tech startups and those sorts of companies try those things and see if it works for them and it works for their staff. And of course, if they succeed, then that's good for everyone. But let's not try these experiments in local public services where people rely on these things and are paying their hard-earned money for, because ultimately there will be no accountability and it will be taxpayers that are left to foot the bill.
Yeah, and if you think about it, how can these town hall employees, you know, on the other side of the world do a proper job when they're in a completely different time zone? It's just dysfunctional nonsense, absolutely ridiculous. Good to talk to you, Joe. Thank you very much for your time.